Told you I'd be back. Welcome in. It's Clippers Talk After Dark with some pain. I like pleasure spiked with pain, and music is my aeroplane. Yeah, SGA just had his career high against the Clippers. 45. Is anyone actually surprised by the fact that it's not higher? I would have thought he'd had a 50-point game by now. But he plays the right way. He doesn't shot hunt. He's not trying to get up 30 shots. I suppose it makes sense. Welcome in. I appreciate you guys. Jonathan Ing is in here. Sly Boo said, "What's up, Adam? What's up?" Evil Bot said, "Yep. Did you guys know? Did you know I was putting up the SGA longing Wolverine for Jean Grey photo? Bub. How could I not tonight? You know what else is bugging me? I probably shouldn't do this. I shouldn't burn any bridges, right? Who am I? I can't afford to burn any bridges. I think that is, before I get to my own cross to bear, my crusade. Actually, Jonathan Ing said, "I cannot believe all the turnovers. OKC's defense was incredible." Let's not forget that is the best defense in the league. The Oklahoma City Thunder have the best defense in the league. It's not a coincidence the Clippers had 24 turnovers. OKC has all the athletes, the athletic length you could want to defend a team that was having some miscues, but also some of it's just what the Thunder do. They are the best defense in the league by a lot. Let's see what their defensive rating is now. I'm guessing we already are in. Yeah. So actually, the Clippers putting up 120, was it 126, 128 points total? That did 128. That did bring up their defensive rating, the OKC Thunder. That was one of the best games, if not the best game anybody has had against OKC. Is that the most points they've given up in a game so far this season? Now, the Clippers hit 23s. They shot an incredible 54% from three. Thanks to Norman Powell again having 5 threes. But I think that might be the most points the Oklahoma City Thunder have given up. Yeah, 124. No, they just gave up, 127, 124. Yeah, that's it. Now, they didn't have Chet. They didn't have Hartenstein. Clippers don't have Kawhi Leonard yet. That'd be nice, but I wouldn't count on it anytime soon. I don't know anything other than the fact that I talked with Law Murray about it earlier. And I asked him, do you guys want to hear from Law about Kawhi? Because I had him on the pregame show. Maybe that would be good for my own mental health because people are going to keep asking, when's Kawhi coming back? And so I asked the guy who would know something like that earlier. Maybe I could play that for you. Will that satisfy the angry mob? I think it was the last question I asked Law. I'm going to play this for you guys. And hopefully this will address any questions about Kawhi for the rest of this Clippers Talk After Dark show. This was during pregame. Myself with Law Murray.
When you need to run a comeback, the rebounding, he had, his first career double-double Friday night in Sacramento. The fact that he is dropping dimes, that was what we saw against the 76ers, his ability to play make. And so to become an all-star, which is what Norman Powell absolutely wants to do, you need to do those things consistently for a winning team. And so he's in position to do it. He's just got to show that he can maintain what he started.
Last one for you here, Law. Your latest on The Athletic is Kawhi Leonard's gradual return and more Clippers observations through 10 games. When you say gradual, what exactly, how do you define that? When is the ballpark right now for Kawhi? Because I get this question every day, and you're the only one that could actually know something like this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's hanging out with Mo somewhere, Mo Bamba. So there's that.
They are boys.
Yeah, they are. I don't see Kawhi coming back anytime soon, to be honest. We're hearing about Mo Bamba's progress. You're obviously not hearing that about Kawhi. And that's not to say he's not progressing. It's just not to say he has not progressed to the level that Mo has. Mo is on the floor playing basketball, and we're not hearing that about Kawhi right now. And honestly, my expectations for Kawhi this entire season are significantly decreased. Like, he can come back in 2 weeks, which would be November 25th, and that game's in Boston. That would be cool. But it's not like I'm expecting Kawhi to play 30 minutes at any point in November. I'm not expecting Kawhi to be a 15 to 20 shot guy at any point in November. So that's just that. Anything you get from Kawhi this month is a bonus. I think anything you get from Kawhi in December is a bonus. Wow. Just hopefully he's back sooner than later.
Joe Rosenfeld said it. Is there any reporter better than Law? Nope. Always incredible insight. So there you go. How about that? Is that going to keep people from asking me about when's Kawhi coming back? Probably not, but I hope it does. I also want to hear from Coach Lou post-game. I think some audio just came on. Just came online 3 minutes ago. Coach Lou's post-game reaction to this loss. Final score, 134 to 128. Clippers losing OKC. SGA goes for his career high of 45. Also attempted 16 free throws. Norman Powell fouled out. James Harden was in foul trouble. Not guys who typically deal with that. I didn't like the way some of this game was called. Felt like the Clippers couldn't be themselves. A couple of the fouls on Chris Dunn were just an Amir and Derrick Jones Jr. They were very frustrated. Derrick Jones Jr. had that, was it a technical foul after he had a layup or a dunk? Frustration was boiling over. But they should be frustrated with themselves more so than the officials when you have 24 turnovers leading to 32 points for the OKC Thunder. Now, did the Clippers make the most of the Thunder's 11 turnovers? Yes. They had 21 points off OKC's 11 turnovers. Guys, all you're typically looking for is like a point per turnover. They almost doubled it. 21 points on 11 turnovers. Second chance points. Clippers won that battle 21-17. They lost points in the paint, though, 54-46. Some of that is because, well, the Clippers hit 23s. It's not like OKC was bad from the outside, though. They went 18-46. That's 39% while hitting 18 threes. Some of those were so clutch. SGA hit a huge one to put them up 6 when it was a 3-point game late. They hit some big shots. Tip your cap. I don't think the Clippers just crumbled late in this one. They only had 3 of their 24 turnovers in the fourth quarter. They did miss a couple of free throws, but I don't think they fell apart. I mean, they scored 34 points in the fourth quarter. It's just the fact the Thunder answered like every point they scored with one of their own. It was an exciting back and forth down the stretch. I appreciate you guys in here. Is this a mute? Who's crying? Who's crying? I said a million times the Clippers lost this game with the turnovers and the missed free throws, 9 total. Yeah, Matt, I've been saying it. 20 of 29. Yellow card. Kyla is very close to a timeout. Very dangerously close. I like this. Jeremiah said once Kawhi gets his braids back, then we will know who's coming back. That's funny. So you got the report from La Murray there on Kawhi. Ray said step 1, clean up the braids. Step 2, star in a New Balance commercial. Step 3, drop Kawhi 5 sneakers. Step 5, Kawhi's back. Step 4, practice. Run. actually do 5-on-5 in practice. Until I hear Kawhi is practicing like Mo Bamba has been, I don't think he's that close, guys. Sam's still taking an incoming, which I love. That's hilarious. Sam got bodied in the pregame show, and people aren't letting up. And that was one of the funniest comment sections I've ever seen, at least on Clippers Talk. You guys should watch the pregame show just for the comments in the chat about Sam. That was a show on its own. Forget what I was trying to do. That was hilarious. Johnny Blaze said it was a good comeback to close out the game. I'm happy with our second half of the game. Yeah, they got Zoo going. They opened up that dimension to their offense with Zoo going against Smalls. That was a big deal to me. It took far too long, and it was too little too late, I guess. But hopefully that is the next time a team tries to go small against Zoo, they can punish them and figure it out quicker. Yeah, I think Mo's going to play over Kai. Kai's not playing over Batum. So I don't think it's a question that Mo is going to take Kai's spot, guys. Kai hasn't. Unfortunately, I love Kai, and I don't think he's been bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think he's secured the backup center spot. I think they want to see what Mo Bamba has, since he has a little bit more of a resume in the NBA. All right, let's hear from Coach Lou post game here. I am intrigued by this. I will pull up the audio here and play it for you guys. I'm also wondering if any other reporters were there or it was just Law Murray doing all the heavy lifting. Here's Coach Lou post game after the Clippers lose in OKC to the Thunder. Final score 134-128. After they were down by 20, they mounted a comeback. Norman Powell had 29 points in the second half. Insane, but not enough. They dug themselves too deep of a hole to get out of.
What allowed you to give your team a chance to win this game after being down 20?
We was able to get stops. At one point in the stretch, during that stretch, we was able to get some stops, get out in transition, and then I thought we did a way better job in the second half with just executing our small pick and roll, of hitting the roll and then making the right play and the right feed. And I thought we was able to get Zoo to the ball where he's in the paint and not having to back down and face a double team. Did a good job, getting him the ball close to the basket. He done a good job of keeping it high as well, and so playing through Zoo, Norm got going. Thought we did a good job of just hitting that short roll and then playing out of it, 4-on-3 on the backside, which we did a way better job at. So we just got to continue to keep doing that. But, we talked about it before the game. You can't have 24 turnovers, against elite teams and expect to win the game, So 24 points for 32 points, that's just way too many, especially against a team that, can score the ball the way they score the basketball. And so we score 131 points, but you still got 24 turnovers. So we just can't do that and then miss 9 free throws as well. So I liked our fight. I liked our, our scrap. We just got to be smarter with the basketball and do a better job of, when we get into the paint, making sure we're securing the basketball and making the right play.
What do you show the team after a second quarter like that? If you had 10 of those turnovers, just in that quarter alone takes it from a close game to a double digit. That's
Yeah.
What do you do to show the team what's happening?
Just keep showing them, every time we're in a close game or we get a lead, the turnovers take over. And that's how teams get out. That's how teams score against us when they're comfortable getting out in transition, getting dunks, layups, and threes. And so, we make teams play against our half-court defense. We're really solid. But when we turn the basketball over, there's not a lot of defense for that. And teams are so fast. They played small tonight, like we talked about, them getting out in transition and attacking early. And when you have 24 turnovers, it's just, it's hard to win games that way.
Is it the driving and losing the ball in the drives? Is it the passing?
It's a combination of everything. Hitting a short roll, taking it too deep, they get their hands on the basketball, over dribbling sometimes, they're handsy, so they get their hands on the basketball. So just we got to own our space. We knew it was going to be physical. We knew Caruso and Dort was going to, try to be physical and deny James the ball, deny Norm the ball. And I like the way we kept our composure in that second half of just playing through the game and be able to score some points. But we just got to be better at taking care of the ball.
You said pregame, Shea is starting to show some resemblance of a superstars that they let the game come to him. late. What did you see tonight, Shea?
Same thing. I thought he trusted his teammates. I thought he made all the right plays. And when it was time to take over the game, when it got close, he did that down the stretch, which he does so well. And he's been doing for the last, few years. And so, we try to fire, we try to hit. Dort made a couple threes that kind of opened the game back up a little bit, And so, Shea's he's extreme talent, And so he's playing the game the right way. If you double team him, he's gonna make the right pass. If you don't, he's skilled enough to get his shot off at any time.
What allowed you, or what made you stick with Zoo? Because there's games in the past with your team, a lot of games where the Thunder play an opponent and they cancel the center. Zoo didn't have a good first half as far as being able to protect the basketball and score efficiently. You went back to him and he had much better second half. Like, why'd you decide to stick with him?
Just because Zoo's been a big part of what we're doing, and I think just the matchup was better for him with the guys coming off the bench than what they started, and so it made it hard for him to be at the rim. It made it hard for him to be in drops because now we're trying to veer, we're trying to get back to Dort, then they're driving closeouts, and it just made it tough on us. And then when we had the favorable matchup that we thought that would work in our favor, we got him back on the floor.
What can you take away from this game from a defensive standpoint? Obviously, it's a lot of points. It's fast. It's a small line. Like, I know it's a lot of points that you allow. Like, is this something that you say, all right, we seen what this looks like. We can be better if any team.
Well, we knew it was going to be a tough game for us. Like I said, just going small. When we figured they're going to play small the whole game. All their bigs are hurt, so all their guys on the floor can shoot threes and they can drive the basketball and make plays. And so we knew it would put us in some compromising positions. And that's why in the third quarter, early on, we got Zoo out and got him back in. We went small, kind of got back into the game, and then, Zoo came back in when we had favorable matchups for him.
All right. There was Coach Lou post game. Clippers lose. I don't need to hear the post game from the Raptors. That was starting to play there. They lose in OKC. I'll briefly go over some of the stuff he talked about. He thought in the second half the small pick and rolls were working better. The 4-on-3 on the backside, where once they blitzed the ball handler and they tried to get it out of the hands of James Harden a bunch, they were making the right play out of that. That's how they were getting a lot of those three-pointers. They got to Zoo in a better position where he was already deeper into the post in the second half and he didn't have to dribble to back guys down. He liked their fight. He liked their scrap. He still brought up the 24 turnovers, far too many against a team this good, something we've been saying over the last hour and a half. The 9 missed free throws. He's talking about the turnover issue and saying, you guys secure the basketball and make the right play. He did give OKC's defense credit, but he's saying in close games, the turnovers take over. That's what we've seen from this Clippers team. Now, they only had 3 in the fourth quarter. I'll give them that. And they had 15 in the first half, 9 in the second half. They were better in the second half overall. And he just pointed out that there's not much you can do defensively when you're turning those live ball turnovers over and you're scrambling defensively in transition. It's so hard in today's game. Transition defense against these athletes, like especially a team like OKC, it's just, what are you going to do? The turnover is what just can't happen to start with because it's going to be very difficult to slow those guys down. But he talked about too much over dribbling, got to own your space. He did like, the composure overall in the second half, credited Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with taking over late, first trusting his teammates and then taking over the game late. And I like what he said about sticking with Ivica Zubac and why he went back to him. And that was a great question from Wild Murray, because there have been times in the past where if it's not working with Zubac initially, that's it. He won't give him another shot. But he talked about him being a big part of what they're doing. And then they like the matchups against the second unit of OKC more for Big Zoo, with him going up against Alex Caruso. So interesting. I don't know if we'll have any more post-game audio here. I will see if any more is uploaded. That was from Hoop Chef. Give him a follow. Hoop Chef and Hoop Jab are the guys I like to go to. But I'm honestly encouraged by a lot of what we saw. if I'm being completely honest, in some ways, I see more positives in this loss than I saw positives in their win against Toronto. Some people aren't going to like that. They're not going to understand that. They're not going to like the nuance and how I contextualize it. But the reason is they're going up against a much better team. They didn't play close to their best game, the Clippers, and they're still down by 2 late. And they had their chances. Against the Raptors, they were up by 14. They were up by 12. And they almost let the game get away from them. In this one, they're down 20 against a really good team on the road. Yes, they're missing Chet. Yes, they're missing Hartenstein. Clippers don't have Kawhi. I don't care. In some ways, this OKC team can give you more problems because they're going to run even more and play small, which Coach Lue acknowledged was going to be an issue all night. And the Clippers hung in there. Honestly, I could take more positives away from this in a loss, playing a team like OKC that close, and having Norm go off in the second half after a bad first half, having Ivica Zubac get it going in the second half, James Harden having his moments, Amir, DJ, Chris Dunn, awesome games. There are more encouraging takeaways in this loss to OKC to me than in that victory against Toronto, where it was just one you had to survive, but they didn't play great basketball like at any point. They weren't executing at a super high level. In this game, there were moments and flashes where they were executing really, really well. Now, the other end of the spectrum reared its ugly head too, where they were pitiful. But some of that is OKC's greatness on defense, number 1 defense in the league, and just Coach Lue called them handsy with the way that they can shrink the floor on you and get to the basketball. And that ball pressure is difficult. Ray says, I think Mo will immediately play once he's cleared. I agree. They'll see what they have. Mo said, wasn't too happy. So from Mo to Mo. Ray's saying Mo Bamba will play when he's cleared. Mo Hassan said, wasn't too happy with some of the calls, but our effort to stay in the game down the stretch was admirable. It was. Right? They did not give in. Down 20. They easily could have. That was as much fight as we've seen from a Clippers team in past years. That Brian Seaman, who's coming on the show on Thursday, I believe, he calls it competitive integrity. It was intact. X-Mongo Project said, I didn't get to watch the whole game because I was working, but every time I watch, their leads grow. Every time I tune out, we go on a run, starting to feel like it was my fault. No. Players decide games. There's no jinx, but I understand if you're a fan, you feel like that sometimes. Ray said, Law understands the grind. He was featured in Kelly Johnson's latest vlog and had some wise words about his media's role in sport, or the media's role in sports. X-Mongo said, Harden is so used to difficult threes, he forgot to shoot normal threes. Yeah, that's not nothing. Jonathan Ing said, I did not like Harden's game management down the stretch. 2 possessions where he tried to dribble against Dort and got stripped. One of them was lucky the Clippers recovered the deflection. The other ended in that jump ball, which ended the game. Jonathan Ing said the final possession with Harden getting stripped, so awful. Yeah, just Dort's that good. Like Ray said, agree, Jonathan. They should have tried to switch Dort off Harden. Good luck. I don't think they were going to concede the switch, but yeah. Jeremy Mormon said, need to go 2-0 against Houston. Affirmative. Lil Bryan said, Harden, my favorite player, but he's got a mental issue when it comes to just getting a bucket in clutch. He's just not built for his number 1 option. I don't know. I just saw him get that floater against the Toronto Raptors in the clutch Saturday night, which was like the biggest, if not one of the biggest shots of the game. Matt Warren saying, Brandon and I talked on the latest podcast about how the lack of Kawhi questions to Ty has benefited the team and, quite frankly, all of our mental health. Win or lose is about actual hoops. Yeah, that's why I don't need – I'll play what happened earlier with Law. I asked the question, get it out of the way. But after that, I'm good. Let me know when he's practicing. Steve said the missed free throws this season have been a big issue. Astute observation, Steve. Evil Bot said, would you guys trade Man, Bones, and PJ for Jonathan Isaac? Is Orlando doing that? Like, what does that matter if Orlando's not doing it? I don't think they would. I don't think that's, again, like the forward problem all summer that everybody talked about ad nauseum has not been the issue with this team, guys, at all. Ray said, true dat, Matt. Ty is definitely enjoying this season more than past ones. Timothy said, game was lost in the first half. You can't be down by almost 20 points against a team that is playing on a back-to-back. Yeah, second night of a back-to-back for OKC. I do think that had an effect. When the Clippers maybe had fresher legs in the second half in OKC. I want to look at a key stretch in that second quarter in that 14-0 run. To me, that's probably where the game was lost. Where, let's see, Kevin Porter Jr. goes on a little run to start the second quarter. And the Clippers actually, after Nico Batum knocks down a three-pointer, they're down by 1 at 28-27. Then Kevin Porter Jr. hits a three-pointer off the pass from Nico. Then he has a floater. It's 32-28 Clippers. Mitchell makes it 32-30. Jalen Williams tip shot ties it at 32. And then the Clippers get stuck after Kevin Porter Jr. gets another 2 to go. And, you know, he looked okay at times. Once again, they're up by 2. I think they get stuck at 34 points while the 14-0 run is happening against them. Jiang hits a three-pointer. So now the Clippers are down 35-34. Jalen Williams gets to the free throw line, knocks down a couple. James Harden does get a technical free throw after 3-second violation. So maybe it's 42 where the Clippers got stuck. Yeah, I think that was the score. So it's 42 all after a James Harden tip shot at the 5:14 mark of the second quarter, guys. And this might be the game. Aaron Wiggins 3. Norman Powell misses a 3 to retaliate. Lou Dort, layup, 47-42 now. It's an and one, 48-42. Kenrich Williams, three-pointer, 51-42. Meanwhile, the Clippers turnover. Derrick Jones Jr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Midi, 53-42. James Harden missed 3. So it's missed threes and turnovers here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander then hits a three-pointer, and it's 56-42. There's your 14-0 run. Chris Dunn broke it with a three-pointer. So the Clippers are now down 11. But Norman Powell had a turnover during that time. Derrick Jones Jr. had a turnover. Amir Coffey had a turnover, an offensive foul. It's just too much. And then some threes that were missed when they weren't turning it over. Norman Powell, he missed one. James Harden, he had a turnover there. So what? They had 4 turnovers in that stretch. Yeah. And they go from you're tied again at 42 at the 5:14 mark of the second quarter. The 14-0 run happens in less than 3 minutes. They go from tied at the 5:14 mark at 42 to then being down 14 at the 2:32 mark. So it's not even 3 minutes. And a 14-0 run happens with 4 turnovers, a couple of missed three-pointers. Brutal. In some ways, that might be where the game was lost. In a lot of ways. Because, I mean, they were in it. Now, they got it to, 13 at the half. It's 66-53. But I'm telling you, that 14-0 run, probably the most consequential less than 3 minutes, 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the game right there. They just, against OKC, you slip up, you have a bad 2.5, 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and that's the game. Literally, that's the game. You have a bad 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and you lose the game. X Mongo Project said, SGA, man, I fear him more than Luka. They're both up there. SGA has had a game winner against the Clippers since he went to OKC, since they traded him, and now his highest scoring game against the Clippers. Ray said there have been improvements in different areas each game. Our three-point percentage, that game was awesome. Guys, the three-point percentage the last 5 games now has been awesome. They went from shooting 33% from 3 5 games ago. So the first 6 games of the season, they're at 33% from 3. Let's see what they're at now after these last 5 games. Oh my God. They're at 39%. They're almost 39.5% from 3 now, guys. They raised it over 6% in their last 5 games. They've been hitting shots. And look, they went 4-1 in those 5 games. Typically, you hit 23s and shoot 54% from the outside like they did against OKC, you're winning that game. But you don't typically have 24 turnovers to pair with those made threes. Mongo Project said Clips our offense kind of gets predictable sometimes. I mean, I feel like every fan base could say that about their team at some point in their offense. But I get what you're saying. That guy Spencer said my issues are turnovers, free throws, allowing switches. I mean, every team allows switches because the three-point shooting's too good in today's day and age. Like, if you try to fight over every screen, you're giving a guy an open 3 while you're fighting through the screen. So most teams switch. Timothy said turnovers absolutely killed us and missed free throws. Yes, we've been talking about it. Jonathan Ings said something I noticed. Our Derrick Jones Jr. three-point shooting, I think at 38% plus, is possible and sustainable. On his catch-and-shoot threes, he is shooting off the hop, and that contraption definitely helping his arc. What was that thing called? The perfect rim or something? William Blast said, peace, Adam. Hi, William. Jonathan Ings said, I never saw Derrick Jones Jr. much prior to last year, so I don't know what his form was before last year. Nate G said, again, the bench makes a run with Harden on the bench, missed some free throws and turnovers. Same story. OKC off a back-to-back with their 2 bigs missing, frustrating loss. Sure, the bench made a run. They're also going up against the other team's bench. This is what I was saying with Law earlier when we were kind of debating about how many points they'd average in games without James Harden. I'm like, they might score 80 points. I think he's that important to this team. Harden is going up against the other team's number 1s. The Clippers bench is going up against their number 2s for the most part. William Blast said, too many James Harden turnovers every game. He's got to play off ball more. Teams are blitzing him so much and causing bad passes. I mean, the amount of times in the second half that, even in the second quarter, that they were just saying, okay, beat us with somebody else. We're going to double James Harden. We're going to blitz him. And then you have to play 4-on-3 basketball, and let's see if you can make the right pass. And they were a lot more in the second half. Jesse says, hello. Mongo Project said, my problem is I didn't get to see the positives because every time they were on the run, I was doing something else. All I saw was the bad stuff. Well, we watch it. Rewatch it. Jesse said they fought back hard. MKXLNT is talking about my background here. Unhinged, cursed background. Jeremy Gonzalez said, when the Clippers going on the East Coast trip, I want to play those Easy East teams. Easy East teams. Jesse Benitez said, why didn't they use Zubats more? Because he was really bad in the first half, and they tried, and they used him more in the second half when he played better. Lil Bryant said, when they need a real ball handler, we need a real ball handler that can let Harden play shooting guard. That'd be nice. Cool. How's that happening? Nate G said, shaking my head, I'm still frustrated. A loss is a loss. OKC came off a back-to-back. They're also they're better. They're far more talented than the Clippers, guys, even without Chet. Jesse said they should have Zubats in the post more. Jesse, did you watch the game? Honestly, people who say this stuff, it's like I question whether or not they even watched the game. Zubats had a turnover, I think, on the first possession of the game, leading to an easy one on the other end for OKC. It wasn't working until the end of the third quarter when he came back in around the 4-minute mark. It's just like rudimentary or oversimplification basketball. Like, just get it to Zoo more in the post. They're small. It's like, yeah, they're doubling. They're denying him the basketball. They have a bunch of athletes that can probably play small ball better than any other team in the league, the OKC Thunder, and they were really good at it. There's another team out there too. Just saying, give it to the biggest guy out there isn't that easy. They finally got it going in the second half a little bit. Nate G said it's still the same story, though. Turnovers and free throws. In some ways, it is. Sista1 said, if we want another point guard, just bring up Harkless from the G League. He's another dog on defense. He is, but I don't think he's the playmaker at the NBA level. Jesus Rodriguez said, thanks for doing this, Adam. You're the real MVP. Thank you, Jesus. Nobody F's with the Jesus. Jeremy Gonzalez said, is Lou Dort the best role player in the league since he has a shot now? Maybe. He's really good. Jesus said, even without our best player, we're barely losing to some of the best teams in the West. There are a lot of encouraging signs. Luis said, Jalen Williams on matching up against Vita Zubats. I think he was so shocked. He was like, you guys need your 5 back. Jeremy Gonzalez said, issue with shot creation. I wouldn't mind making a trade for Dennis Schroeder if Brooklyn was willing to trade him. Sure. What are they giving up? That's going to be better than other offers for Dennis Schroeder. I like Schroeder. He also, though, he's not a great defender. So if you bring in a guy that gives you positives on one end but negatives on the other that can be exploited, is it just a lateral move? RR said, if we played with their physicality, they would have called a reach on every possession. LOL. Also, how is KPJ handle so weak? If he can become a ball handler, we might be in business. He over dribbles sometimes. He had some bad turnovers. Adam Richards said, I'm so over being owned by Shea. Ugh, I almost can't watch. Jonathan Ing said, KPJ was really awful tonight outside that good stretch in the second quarter. Well, that was like a good chunk of his minutes, though. It's like, you just say outside of that good stretch of the second quarter, he only played 14 minutes. So I don't know. He was 3 of 6. He hit a 3-pointer. He had 2 assists to 2 turnovers. A couple of his turnovers were really bad. The problem is when you ISO like KPJ does, when it goes, it looks good. It looks like it's sustainable and you can do it all the time. When he misses after over dribbling, you shake your head and go, that was such a wasted possession. It was all ISO ball. It's some of the worst basketball I've ever seen. It's still a missed shot nonetheless, but it almost makes you feel like, those missed shots are worse than a typical missed shot when you play ISO ball at that level, when you just go one-on-one and, try to shake everybody like it's the And One mixtape tour. But it's still just a missed shot. Like, I think we overanalyze sometimes a guy's game when he misses because it's not as aesthetically pleasing to look at. Jaden said they need all their 5s back, LOL, but their defense is elite, so they can, for a short time, do without a 5 and Isaiah Hartenstein coming back soon. They can. Like, they're really good, guys. They're the best team in the West, OKC Thunder. They're the second best team in the league to Boston, in my opinion, and it's really not that close. I don't know who's third is. David Hong said, good to focus on realistic hope for constant improvement. First half was ugly. Second half was better. Just need to cut down the turnovers, play good basketball. Yeah, if it was just that simple. But, I mean, let's see. What are they at turnovers per game now? The Clippers are 29th at 17.8. So it goes up again. I mean, that's really bad. I mean, 30th is Utah, and they're 2-7. Clippers are still 6-5. Clippers Cave said, crazy how Powell's efficiency is still just getting higher, even higher every game. He's been ridiculous. So let's see what Norman Powell is at now, guys. Speaking of, 29 in the second half. Believe me, that was going to be a story or a storyline coming out of this game if Norm never got it going and he ended up something like 3 for 10. And people would say, well, level of competition, OKC, too many athletes. They're keying in on him more. Now Norman Powell is going to get the real treatment like he's a number 1 or number 2 player by everybody's defense every night. Guess what? He nuked them too in the second half. 29 points. And now his percentages and shooting percentages are this. He's at 53% from the field and almost 51% from 3. Norman Powell. 83% at the charity stripe. My goodness. This guy is a... Do you guys want to see Norman Powell's wallet? I actually have... I have this... I was able to catch a shot on my phone of his wallet the other night at the game against the Toronto Raptors. And I want to show you guys. This is a crazy wallet. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but yeah, I got this shot of Norman Powell's wallet. That was an Into a Dome. Guys, he is a bad man right now. And I think he can keep it going to some extent. Not 50-50-80 shooting splits forever, but can he end up at 50-43 by the end of this season? We'll see. Clippers Cave said, yeah, read it. Himothy said, Coffey's defense was horrendous. I don't think closing lineups with him is the move. He is a mess when it comes to switching on defense. I disagree with that. X-Mongo Project said, can we say that Norm's current production this season is the new normal, Powell? You're the first to make that joke. Haven't heard that. The new norm? I haven't heard that. ST said, the only thing I want to see turned over is meat on the barbecue. That's the best comment of the night so far. That really is. You know what? I'm going to do a giveaway, guys. So I'll give away. I had an extra one of these Into a Dome hats. These were given out, I think, the first night. And I got an extra one. And so we'll do a keyword. And I'll give out 3 keywords over the span of, the next 4 or 5 days, next week. I'll give away 3 keywords. And if you're the first to put them all in the comment section when I give out the third one in that show, and you are first to put them in the comment section, you'll win the Into a Dome hat. What do you think? Worth playing for? As Jeff Probst always says on Survivor. So I'll give away a keyword by the end of this show. Ray said, time for everyone to get Powell jerseys. He's more than earned our love. Yeah. Are we worthy of his love? Clippers Cave said, I'm just loving this team, though, man. They always find a way to make the game interesting. So fun to watch how hard they compete every night. Yeah, I said in the second quarter at some point, I just said I love this team. I just texted that or tweeted that out at Fallout of May. Deca Fantastic said, DJ looks smooth shooting for sure. Derrick Jones Jr. had a really good game again. He has been better than advertised so far, that pickup. Like, this guy is a grinder as well, like Norman Powell. You can see he is putting in the work, and I love seeing it. And I want to go over a couple of the plays that he had. So he had a 3 at the 5-minute mark, then broke up an interior pass with OKC in transition that was incredible early on. Another 3 in the near side corner. In the second quarter, he powered through the defense to end the second quarter. I think he got an easy one. And then in the third, a 3, a putback, and then that technical that he got. He was frustrated. Clippers were frustrated with the calls. I was too. Then he had that big dunk off the Harden pass after a challenge in the third, around the 7-minute mark. Derrick Jones Jr., he's a bad boy too. I am a big fan. I was concerned about his three-point shooting, and I still am overall, only because his career averages. But right now, he's at 45% from 3. All I want is for him to finish the season 36% or above from 3. That would literally be his best season shooting-wise from the outside. Jeremiah Gonzalez said, if Norm somehow doesn't make the All-Star game, he's got to compete in the three-point contest. They better not forget about him again. He should have been in the three-point contest last season. He shot 44% from 3. He scored the most points off the bench last season, and he didn't finish top 3 in 6 Man of the Year voting. It was ridiculous. Ross said Zoo was able to post deeper in the second half, especially in the fourth. Yeah, that's what Coach Lou was talking about. Himothy said the entry passes till the fourth quarter were not good, to be honest. No. Zoo had to post way too far from the basket. I'm telling you, what you have to do I think my guy Dime Dropper has mentioned this too. Like, you can't always throw the entry pass from the top of the arc. What you do is you have to get it to a guy out on the wing. Then Zoo seals his man, and it's an easier way to give him the basketball. And that finally started to happen. Multiple guys on the wing were feeding him passes late in the third and into the fourth. Ray said OKC did get like 15 steals. They're all athletic and lengthy bastards. Yeah, like, you do have to acknowledge that. They're really good. Clippers Cave said Lou Dort making threes annoys me so much. His jumper is so slow and ugly. They hit big shots, man, down the stretch. Felt like they answered every big shot by the Clippers. I don't feel like in the fourth quarter the Clippers just crumbled and fell apart at all. I think OKC responded with some really, really big buckets and free throws. Yeah. I mean, they had 35 points in the fourth. Yeah, and some big threes, J-Dub threes. How many points did Jalen Williams have in the fourth quarter? I know SGA had 11 to match Norman Powell's 11 in the fourth. Let me see what J-Dub had. So, yeah, he ended up with 13 points in the fourth quarter, Jalen Williams. He really made some of the biggest shots, honestly. How many did Lou Dort have in the fourth quarter? He had 5, but some timely ones. RR said LMAO facts, and then their bench was there too in his face. Just a bad moment. Just frustrating when you have so many turnovers. Then a bad ISO looks worse. Oh, you're talking about KPJ. Yeah, when he misses those shots on a bad ISO play, on an ill-advised shot, it looks way worse. It makes you feel like, what are we doing? Why is he out there? But it's just a missed shot. Like, you could say it was bad process, but it's not like it's not the end of the world. I think we magnify some of his misses and bad plays because of how he gets to that shot sometimes is not that pleasing to the eyes. X Mongo Project said, do you do shipping with the giveaways? I do. Ray said, can we get a prize for the best roast of Sam earlier today? Y'all deserve it. Sam's scared to come in here now. Y'all just absolutely put him in the torture chamber, the dungeon. J-Dog said, it's BS how they give SGA every little call. I'll tell you what's BS to me. I don't like the late calls. Oh, he missed the shot? Well, it must have affected him. Now I'm calling it. Just call it. Don't wait to see what the result of the shot is. That has always bugged me in the league. But J-Dog said it's BS how they give SGA every little call. He attempted 16 free throws. Whole time Zoo gets fouled all game inside the paint. No calls almost every game. That guy Spencer said, I'm game. I'm into it. Ray said Jalen with the dunks. X Mongo Project said Harden caught an elbow to the face too. No call. That was SGA. Clippers Cave said J-Dub's so good, man. I feel like most people don't get to see him very often due to national media not talking about him. Yeah, but when he plays your team, you can really see it. Man, he is. Jaden said J-Dub's just so versatile on both ends. OKC got really lucky getting him at 12. Yeah. Whose pick did they use? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I can do it. So, first keyword is it's. First keyword is it's. First keyword for the hat is it's. The Intuit hat. Clippers Cave said SGA just be sticking out his elbow as far as possible when going up for a contested jumper. Doesn't even have a chance of making some of these with the way he's shooting, trying to draw a foul. I don't know. I feel like he has a chance. JDog777 said exactly like on the pump fake on Coffee where he literally tried to stay straight up, missed the shot, then late call. That's the one. X Mongo Project said, yeah, they were doing late calls and phantom foul calls that we had to challenge. So the first keyword is it's. There's going to be 3 keywords over a period of shows. Well, you're going to have to figure that out. I'm not telling you if it's a contraction or not. You will be able to by the end, I think. Yeah, I'm sticking with it's. That's the first one. But I'll give away the other 2 in future episodes here. And then when I give away that third one, underneath that episode in the comment section, you put together all 3 words, you win the hat if you're first. Timothy said there was a foul on Dunn in the 4th quarter. It was great defense against SGA, but yet refs gave call for free throws. I agree. I thought Chris Dunn got jobbed on a couple calls too. I think I know the one you're talking about. It's Brian Seaman. It's Powell's Rangers. I mean, I'll just change it if one of you guys ends up guessing it right away. But those are funny. It's the norm. Brick Center posted it. Which one? Which one did Brick Center post? Because I do follow them. I'll play it here. Yeah. Refs wait to see if it went in before calling a foul. NBA really decided SGA not allowed to miss. At Brick Center. That's a good follow on X. People are still, they're quoting me and saying every GM makes that trade, which is what I always say. Like, guys, if every GM will make that trade, how is it a huge mistake? Called good process that didn't work out. If no one could have known that SGA would turn into an MVP candidate, and he's probably going to win it this year. Now he has an even better chance to win it, I think. If he keeps them afloat without Chet, he can enhance his MVP case or build his case even more. Have seen SGA be... Sorry, I'm responding to this guy on X. MVP candidate. How can you blame anyone? It's like judging it based off of because Kawhi tore his ACL, basically, is what you're saying. Should have known Kawhi was going to tear his ACL in 2021, right? I mean, come on. What are we doing here? I hate the revisionist history. It's so annoying. It's one of the most annoying things ever. ST said it's our year. Timothy said the coffee one was a foul. The Dunn one was good defense. Clippers Cave said the foul that made Powell foul out was really the one that costed us the game. He was on a heater. He was. He also missed a free throw. Ex-Mongo Project, but he was on a heater. Said also one against Coffee that Law posted. Timothy saying it was also a travel on SGA. Yeah, 2-minute report. By the way, the 2-minute report for the Raptors game had 2 calls that went against the Clippers. Thank goodness they ended up winning anyways. Didn't matter. Late calls are annoying. Urban Figure said, hoping to get Kawhi back soon. I swear he's the only piece that we're missing. We're in these games. We just need our closer. Guys, this team with Kawhi is so dangerous. As long as guys don't let up and continue to play with this level of effort and intensity when Kawhi comes back, and I think they will, I honestly think they could beat anyone in the West in a 7-game series, including OKC. But, again, let me know when he's practicing. Let's not... I just don't want to sell false hope or... Sure, I expect him back at some point, but who knows? Brandon Boston had 10 assists tonight. Did he give up 10 assists on the other end? That's what people are saying to Cope. Yeah, but his defense, he was like a -30 the other night. Jonathan Ing said that 1 year mentorship SGA got under CP3 literally expedited his ascension. You know, I've been saying that in here for a while, right, Jonathan? That he was in the perfect situation to get on the fast track to turning into the player he is today. X Mongo Project said, I'm actually okay how soft how they are calling the fouls. I just hope they make it consistent for the whole stretch of the game. I guess. I don't know. That's one way to look at it. Trying to see if we have any more post-game sound here from the Clippers. I'll check out the old hoop jab here on the YouTube side to see if they posted anything. No, nothing there. Might be coming tomorrow then. The realist said SGA is a flopper. SGA is like the perfect superstar. I'm not even going to go there. First of all, you guys know James Harden plays for the Clippers now, right? It's like, let's be objective. Can we keep it a buck? Like, come on. Like, James Harden doesn't accentuate contact or try to draw the contact. Come on. Ray said, boo on the soft fouls. Let them play as long as elbows aren't being thrown. The realist said, Dort playing football on a basketball court. He is getting bigger every year. Jonathan Ing said, oh, yeah, I know. Just reiterated the CP3 SGA mentorship thing for everyone. All right. Jonathan's like, if I had a moderator or a what am I looking for? It's getting late here. Yeah. Somebody that was the hall monitor for Clippers Talk, it would be Jonathan Ing. David Hong said KPJ just needs to slow down. Plenty of gifted athletes can run 100 miles per hour, but the great ones need to know when to slow down. Sure. Yeah, people point out you have Harden. I mean, you really think SGA is worse than Harden? Harden kind of invented a lot of this stuff. Uh-oh, Big Chuck Mockler's in here. Yeah, but what happens if the Clippers only turned it over 22 times? Then what happens? Then we're looking at an 82-0 season, I guess. They are at 17.8 turnovers per game now. Chuck, if you want to jump on, by all means, I'll send you the link. Just use the last one that I sent you. I think it's the same thing. Clippers Cave said foul baiting is literally what makes a lot of the top scorers who they are, inflates their numbers a lot more than pure field goal efficiency can get them. What's the term they like to use for guys who do it honestly? The integrity of basketball thing? Or guys who don't flop? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Brain slowing down. All right, Chuck Mockler's coming in here. Give him 5 minutes. Give me a little bit of rest. I like it. Now you guys are saying, okay, if you're saying he's Harden 2.0, it's like, you know this is the Spider-Man meme, right? Talking about another player flopping on the opposition. It's just not a good look. You know what else isn't a good look? And I probably shouldn't do this, and I brought it up earlier. And who am I to go after somebody? But I'm going to, because I'm annoyed by this. And I'm more annoyed because there's SGA and James Harden fans talking about flopping. Let's keep it real, guys. Come on. You can't complain about guys when James Harden is now a Clipper. And I love it. I'm very happy he is. So earlier today, if you listen to yesterday's show, I said I was going to have a guy on from the OKC Thunder side to help me preview the ball game. And I really shouldn't do this. I really shouldn't call someone out by name, but I'm going to, because I don't understand how someone can say, yeah, I'll come on the show. I'm good to go. Sounds good. And then they end up just completely standing you up. this guy Ryan Stiles or Rylan Stiles from Locked On Thunder, he totally stood me up. Like, I can't believe it. I had him on at 9 a.m. today. And he just never even responded. I got in the DMs yesterday. He said, let's do it. I said 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. And then I send him the link at that time. 10 minutes go by. I say, ready whenever. Then an hour goes by. I'm like, well, okay then. LOL. Like, could you at least have the decency to say, hey, you don't want to do it or you got busy? Because I saw him tweeting stuff out. So he obviously could see I was messaging him. Like, why can't you just have the decency, damn it, to say you don't want to come on or you can't or make up an excuse rather than leaving me hanging and wondering if it's going to happen? But a guy who would never stand me up is now here. Big Chuck Mockler.
Hey,
Charles, should I be bitter about that? Or am I being too petty?
look, I didn't come on to talk Rylan Stiles standing you up. I apologize for not having a take on that.
Disrespectful, man. Just
hey.
tell me you can't come on. Don't leave me hanging.
That's fair. No, I will agree with you on that.
That's why I desperately wanted the Clippers to win tonight more so than anything. I wanted to stick it to Rylan Stiles here. I was gonna actually message him and be like, "This is why you guys lost tonight. This is why, because you didn't come on the show with me."
Bad vibes. No, so I haven't been listening. I haven't been watching. I just popped in. Are people? If you turn the ball over this many times, I would expect to lose by a lot more than what the Clippers lost by tonight. And if you've been watching what this team has been doing, even if you just popped in the last 5 games to what this team is doing, every game is this. In some, you know how Dr. Strange or whatever says that he's seen a million outcomes? The Clippers have a million outcomes, but every single game is close. And that's
pretty much
just like, it's not easy to live with losses, but you need to get used to living with losses like the one we saw tonight. Because the worst kind of loss hasn't even happened yet.
No.
It took, okay, last year.
Tell them about the worst loss, Dr. Strange.
Last year, the Clippers got obliterated in the 8th game of the season. It was Harden's first game, I think, against the Mavs last year. They got obliterated. It was like 144. It was in the NBA. It was in the in-season tournament. That hasn't happened yet. We got to feel good about that.
I actually feel better about this loss in some ways than I did about the win over the Raptors. That's how far I'm taking
that. No, I can see where I'm not sure if I agree with it, but I can see where the logic is. Because this game we gave, I don't mean this 100%, but we gave a lot of this game to the Thunder. The Thunder were very good at closing the paint off. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like they weren't playing really good defense. There's some questionable whistles. But like when you're a team that lives in points in the paint and you can't.
Not the last 5 games. Their 3-point shooting is up 6% just because of the last 5 games. They hit 23s tonight. I mean
they shot 54%. Yeah.
It's crazy.
But that's the turnovers. Like that. It's just.
What can be done? What can be done about this? Because Harden's not getting any younger. I know, guys, we're casuals and his sea legs are going to kick in. His season legs are going to come and then he's going to shoot great and he's not going to turn the ball over. But let's say that isn't happening right now, 11 games in. And it's more about he's 35 and having to do so much. So what's the solution, Charles?
So what's funny is tonight he only had 5, which is lower than he has been having. I think, again, and it's not good. I'm not trying to frame it like that. But you look at, Zoo had 4 turnovers in this game. They played a very good defensive team tonight.
They turned it over the first possession, I think, to Ivica Zubac.
Yeah. But I don't think anything can be done for lack of this is who the team is.
Yeah. I guess your
there's
defense
not a lot of ball handlers.
Yeah,
on this team.
No, it's a flawed roster because they don't have their best player who would alleviate a ton of what's going on right now. Like Kawhi would change
Maybe not
Like
the ball
Harden.
handling stuff.
Oh, I think it would. His usage rating is going to be 20% or more. It is.
Yeah, but do you think? But if he's coming back to a 20% usage rate, I'm not sure if turnovers are going down.
I would guarantee they're going down.
Well,
Like Harden is not going to have to expend as much energy if Kawhi is playing.
right.
Like 17.8 turnovers per game.
A lot.
They're 29th now. It's getting worse.
Who's 30th?
The Jazz, I think.
Oh man, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's rough, man. I'm also encouraged by they unlocked Ivica Zubac in the second half against a small ball lineup finally, right?
Yeah. Then so that's a nice thing, right? Like last season, Zoo probably doesn't play at all after kind of that after some of the bad stuff happens. And they've been figuring out ways to get Zoo going, which is really encouraging. Remember, he had the bad stat line against the Spurs, but he still had a great game. He was getting hustle boards, like he was doing the little stuff. So there's always things to build on in the Clippers games when they lose, I feel like, this season, because the team is caring more and like has this identity of one with more hustle that you're like, oh, like, well, I do trust that there's some positives in this. Like, it's not, they haven't completely, shit the bed in a game.
No, like I don't know if this team can quit you. I don't know if this team can quit. Down 20 on the road to OKC, they could have given in tonight. They really could have.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Derek Jones Jr., who I didn't get to talk about on the radio because I was watching Nora. But Derek Jones Jr. had a phenomenal game, and he was hitting shots when the team was in the beginning, when it was very close, and those were so needed. So I think this might have been my favorite Derek Jones Jr. game.
Yeah,
of the season.
His offense, I think he's close to 45% now from three or something like that after this game.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to end up above 40% from three on the season, but there's a pretty decent chance right now, starting off this hot, that he can end up 36% or above, which is all I want. That would be his best regular season shooting wise ever, league average or above. That's all we're looking for.
Yeah, he had 5. Like he was getting boards. He's kind of just doing all the stuff that Terrence Mann was doing last year, but better because he's actually doing it, I guess, would be you know what I mean? And he took a lot of shots in this game. The ball found him, and I think the team understood that too. So it's nice to see how this team can elevate a guy who's having a good night. You know what I mean? It's not getting kind of lost in the shuffle. Like he was shooting well. He had 13 shots. I think that was the second most on the team.
Was this his highest points he's had in the game so far for the Clippers? 20?
20, I believe.
Feels like it.
I can't imagine it isn't.
How'd you feel about Terrence Mann in this game? How'd you feel about that?
Sorry, 1 second. No, this is his first 20-point game. How did I feel about Terrence Mann in this game? I don't know. The same way I felt about Terrence Mann in every game after Game 5.
Is it worth?
I don't know. Like, this is who he is, I guess, so far this season.
I don't think they can. Okay, I'm gonna give you a number, and you tell me if it's time.
What numbers?
I'm not saying this is all on him. A lot of this is because they're going up against the other team's starting lineup. But the Clippers starting lineup now on the season in 166 minutes is a minus 35.
Yeah, that's very bad.
If anyone's getting changed out, I think it's Terrence Mann.
And you're putting in
I'll
Amir?
go Chris Dunn. I'll go Amir, either or, whatever you want. Amir,
Chris
I
Dunn's
guess.
great.
Yeah. I like Chris Dunn, actually, the idea of him, because I think it's more familiar to what James Harden had in Houston with Patrick Beverley next to him.
It is really small, and it makes the bench a little wonky. I mean, but that's the whole thing, right? You got to make the change. Chris Dunn, 27 minutes tonight. Obviously, Ty likes him in a lot of different lineups because you can play Chris Dunn in a lot of different lineups. But what happens when Chris Dunn goes cold, right? Like, because teams are guarding Chris Dunn. Like, you probably should guard Chris Dunn. He's been very good. But
You're right, though. It would be pretty small.
It'd be a pretty small lineup.
Maybe Amir then?
Like, he's guarding threes.
I mean,
Like,
he
to
can guard
start?
Goliath as far as I'm concerned. There's
But to
tons.
start, it's tough. Like,
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm good with either. I'll take Amir then.
It's
6'7"
probably
Amir.
because then you kind of give Amir the Gortat start or something weird.
He plays like the first 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then,
I don't.
but then I guess it's done. Then it's man. Like, man, I don't know. Because when Kawhi comes back, someone's losing minutes.
It's definitely man who's going to be out when Kawhi comes back. Can they wait that long? Like,
And are they going to play 9 guys when Kawhi's back still?
are they going to play Mo Bamba? I think
Or
Mo
does it-
Bamba's going to get a look as soon as he gets back. I think they're going to try him and see
So
just
they'll
what
go
they have.
10. Because if it's 10, then when Kawhi's back, it's 11. I don't know if they're going to play an 11 guy rotation.
Well, shit.
they're playing 9 right now, and so I could see a 10.
They're still playing 10 because Kai played the first half. I know he's not playing much, but there are 10 guys who have played over the last week.
Technically, yes, they are playing 10 guys, but they're not really playing 10 guys.
We'll see on matchups. Against OKC, you knew Kai wasn't playing tonight, even though somebody said they should have played Kai. It's like, why?
But he hasn't. Yeah.
He hasn't been terrible, but he has definitely not shown any reason to actually play him over Nico Batum and just go small.
Right. But so someone like he's probably getting, I don't know, I guess I can't see him getting more time when Kawhi gets back.
Maybe KPJ's out if Kawhi comes back.
He's been like getting better. He was kind of rough tonight.
It was up and down again. I think during his best stretch, he also had 2 really bad turnovers
Right.
early in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Like,
took an elbow and got back on defense well, which was good to see, I guess.
His defense has been fine. His rebounding's been fine.
Someone's asking when Mo Bamba was going to be back. Unclear. He's been doing practices.
Law said he's not with him. He's not with the team on the road trip.
Oh, he's not with him on the road
He
trip.
said he did not see him anywhere near. So
because someone was tweeting he was doing the walkthroughs and the practices and stuff.
that was after the Raptors game apparently.
Yeah,
so he's closer than Kawhi. He's doing a lot more than Kawhi is apparently.
Good.
Like there's a difference there.
Yeah, on the 10th, Law tweeted out that he's playing basketball again. So that's good.
Yeah. But maybe Sunday when they get home.
Yeah, he'll suit up.
A lot of people are coming after James Harden, and he had the jump ball with Dort late where he was trying to create, and he ripped him, and then it turned into it might as well be a turnover, 25. But what are you going to do without Harden, guys? I don't think they realize how bad it could get.
Well, this is what happens when Harden this is Harden not playing very well with the turnovers, and like this is what you get. Like not that we shouldn't be any more, but like it's not a surprise. It's something that like we talked about. Like I don't really know how it gets fixed. There's more reps, I guess. A lot of new guys together.
He's not going to shoot this poorly the rest of the season. He's not. There is going to be a hot streak.
Yeah.
It's unprecedented for him to be this bad with his shooting efficiency. It is. He's never been under 40% from the floor and under 30% from 3 for a season. Never even close to that. I know he's 35. I know it may happen someday, but I don't feel like he's moving worse than last season. I think his paint touches are actually more than last season. But maybe that's what's playing into it. He's doing so much. He's trying so hard to get this offense moving, and it's just killing his percentages because he's got no legs.
I mean, it would not be surprising to me. I am about to head out, though. Thank you for having me on, albeit for a very quick time. Really hope that the Clippers win one of these games in Houston.
They got to, right?
They'll split. They'll for sure split.
Yeah, I feel good about that. The effort was pretty good.
It was there.
They just aren't playing smart basketball with the turnovers.
Right. Really quick, who's your player of the game pick for tomorrow before I get out of here?
Oh, for Wednesday, we're ranking in
Wednesday
now.
yeah.
Who did we have in this one? Oh, I took KPJ.
I
stand on that.
I mean, I took? Did I take Dunn?
I thought Dunn was phenomenal.
He had 9, 4, and 8. He was great.
He had Did he play like 14 minutes straight from like the end of the third into the fourth? Like they couldn't take him off the floor. He was so good.
Yeah, I think so. He played 9 minutes in the third and then 6 in the fourth.
Okay, so Wednesday against Houston, our player of the game, and we still
You can
can't.
pick anybody because we're not doing clips and dip. So you
This
can
is
just pick
Clippers talk.
anybody.
Everybody's available.
Everyone's available.
All right, fuck it. I'm going with James Harden back in Houston. He's going to have his most
Okay.
efficient game of the season.
All right. And by efficient, you mean assist to turnover ratio, or you mean shooting?
All of it.
All of it. The whole thing. All right, fair. I'm going out on a limb, and this probably will not be correct.
Huh?
Terrence Mann.
Ooh.
8
With
points.
everybody available, you're still going, man?
8 points, 4 boards.
8.
2 assists.
All right. Some
8's a lot
impactful-
right now.
impactful 8 points.
This is within the lens of Terrence Mann. An efficient 8 points. 6 of them will come in the second half.
Okay. I like
I'm
that.
trying to put the vibes out there. All right. Bye,
All
Adam.
right. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate
Absolutely. Be nice to Adam in the chat.
it. Chat, say you love Chuck for doing that. I need a break. Are we signing up for Kawhi at 40 games at this point? Ooh. Half the season. Let's say 41. Let's say make it 41. Would I sign up for Kawhi to play in half the games this season? Yeah, I think I would. I would rather do that than roll the dice. If you could give me 41 games from Kawhi with how this team has looked, I think I would. You guys are making picks. Norman Powell, too easy. Zoo against Şengün. You guys want the sweep against Houston. That's not going to be easy, but it's possible. Jeremy Mormon said, not saying we don't need Harden. He just needs to make better decisions. We all seen the whistle was a little one-sided, so I tried to foul hunt just to take a 3. I'd rather him miss than turn over. Okay. I kind of understood that. People saying PJ Tucker for player of the game. I mean, he's a former Rocket too. I guess that makes sense. Timothy said, who's not playing more than 12 minutes a game? You're saying Nico? I'm taking a Nico Batum 3 or 4 3-game in. Guys, can we please type out stuff so I can read it easy? A 3 or 4 3-game in one of the games against Houston. Gotcha. And then we got Timothy responding to that saying that would require Ty Lue to play in more than 12 minutes a game. Guys, it's game 11. He's about to turn 36. I don't think, and they at least have somebody that does a lot of the stuff that Nico does now in Chris Dunn. That's something that Coach Lue talked about early on. He's like having another Nico because he just doesn't make negative plays for you. Deca Fantastic is saying Kawhi has given us a Christmas present. I'd sign up for that. I'd sign up for me getting out of here. I appreciate you guys. This has been Clippers Talk After Dark. Remember, the first keyword was it's. 2 more coming in future shows. You put all 3 in the comment section after the third one is released, and then you win the hat. Oh, appreciate you guys. I mean it. I stand by what I said. I feel somewhat better, or at least I'm more encouraged by this loss than maybe the win against Toronto in some ways. I really am. I know that's a wild take. Skip Bayless, you thought he was retired, huh? And yet I come up with that crap. All right, guys. Be good. Appreciate everybody here. Clippers in Houston Wednesday. I'll have a show for you tomorrow. I'm guessing the guy from OKC is not coming on. Shout out Rylan Stiles. Or Stills. I desperately wanted to be able to say, this is why they lost. This is why the Thunder lost, because you didn't come on the show. That's how petty Freddie I would have been. Sad. This has been another edition of Clippers Talk After Dark. Thanks to Chuck Mockler for coming on. Thanks to you guys for being in here in the chat. Always appreciate the conversation. You guys made me laugh all day today. The chat has been phenomenal. Seriously, go back and watch the pregame chat just to see how bad Sam got smoked. Smoked salmon.